So I, 23-year-old female, had been with my ex-boyfriend, 26-year-old male, for about 3 years. We met when my family and I moved here for my university. About 5 months ago, I found out that my boyfriend had made out with some girl in a club after she messaged me. I was obviously destroyed, and we went on to break up while he attempted to prove to me he can be trusted. About 2 months ago, I was out in a bar with my friends, and I saw a guy I sort of knew, 23-year-old male, who was from my old area. I went up and asked if it was him, and it was. Turns out he now goes to my university, and this is his first year. I was never really friends with this guy, but we had a lot of mutual friends, and I'd met him in person once through friends. I also used to comment on his tweets because he was quite funny, so we'd talked a few times over Twitter. He said it was nice to see someone he knew here, and we swapped numbers, but never texted. A month ago, I was walking my dog on the beach here, and he was walking ahead of me smoking a joint. I texted him saying, "That smells great," and he looked around and saw me, and we sat on a bench and spoke for a bit. My dog loved him, which is a surprise because he is a rescue and usually hates men. Relevant later. I shared the joint with him, and it turns out we both had plans to get a Starbucks, so we went together. Afterwards, I invited him over to chill, not thinking much of it, mainly because my dog was, for some reason, obsessed with him. We went home and went to my room. Nothing happened. He played with my dog and we spoke a bit, listened to music and ate a bunch of snacks. At one point, he took his hoodie off and I saw he had a lot of bruising and redness around the back of his neck. I asked him what it was, and he said it's from the barbell at the gym, and he gets it after every leg day because he lifts a lot. I offer him a massage as he is giving one to my dog, and he says, yeah. This isn't too weird as I do have a level 3 diploma in sports massages. So he's sort of like sitting between my legs, and I'm giving him a back rub. My dog ends up falling asleep on him, and he lays down a bit as my dog is flopping everywhere. He is laying down on his back, and his head is on my stomach between my legs, and I'm massaging his shoulders. Eventually, we both fall asleep. 4 hours later, I wake up. My dog is gone. That guy is still asleep on me, but he is now laying on his stomach with his face on my belly. I laugh because he is out cold. I start playing with his hair. I don't mean anything by this, but he has afro-textured hair, and I'm curious about how it feels. After a few minutes, my mom walks into my room, but she immediately runs out and shuts the door looking mortified. I slide out from under the guy who is still out cold and go talk to her. Turns out it looked to her like he was going down on me. I am now also mortified and say no, he's just sleeping. She doesn't seem like she believes me. Then all of a sudden she goes wide-eyed and says, "Sweetie, I'm so sorry. You should call Alex." I'm like, what the F are you talking about? Nothing happened. She then explains to me that my ex had come round to see me and she let him in. He went up to my room and left almost instantly looking upset without even saying bye to her. She assumed I'd told him I don't want to talk and he'd felt embarrassed. I go to check my phone and I have a bombardment of texts, all basically saying how much of a piece of S I am, etc. The guy then all of a sudden comes downstairs, says he didn't realize the time and had to go as he wanted to go to the gym. I give him a hug and he leaves. My ex did not believe at all that nothing happened, and he had a few fair reasons. 1. Obviously, we were technically not together at the moment. 2. The guy is my type, light-skinned, tall, buff, dark-featured, whereas my boyfriend is not, white with blonde hair. 3. My dog was fine with him. It took my dog months to warm up to my ex. This makes my ex assume I've been seeing him for months. 4. Obviously, it looks really bad. 5. He and I used to like each other's pictures on Instagram. I never really like pictures of boys on Instagram. After about 3 days of accusations of cheating, I decided to just end things with my ex. I had no trust in him and was still healing from what he had done, and his constant accusations were affecting my mental health. He was also calling me vile names over text and being generally really nasty. It proved to me the sort of person he was, and I wanted nothing more to do with him. By the end of that week, I decided to text the guy again, and we have recently been dating. We are not together in any official capacity, but things have been going well, and we have been spending nights together, going on dates, etc. On Saturday, I soft launched him, meaning I posted a story of us on a date together. My ex saw this and took to messaging all our friends, accusing me of cheating, and sent very selective screenshots of our texts, making me look like a villain. One friend came and let me know, and at first I was just going to ignore his petty attempts to get at me. But then mutual friends started saying things to me, and I was losing people I cared about, so I decided to tell the full story. I took to Twitter, as I had no way to know exactly how many people he had messaged, and exposed his cheating, as well as the vile messages he had been sending me since. And when the full truth came out, most of our mutual friends cut him off. The whole situation apparently has severely damaged his mental health, and he has been spiraling and apparently mentioning ending it all. I know this because his sister decided to get on my case and start calling me cruel for ruining his life. She also accused me of trying to sabotage any chance of future relationships by making him out to be an awful partner publicly. But in my opinion, his actions caused all this. No one made him cheat. No one made him be horrible and accuse me, and no one made him lie to paint me as a villain. Am I the idiot? A lot of you seem to be confused or not reading properly. I am not asking if I am a jerk for what happened between me and the other guy. I am asking if I am the jerk for posting the full story on my Twitter. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here, you both cheated. Your ex obviously cheated, but you did as well. I'm sorry, but if my BF invited over 121 to their flat a stranger they met only once and of intimacy they are attracted to smoke, Zaza offered and gave a massage to that said stronger, they are hanging out 121 fell asleep cuddling the stranger playing with the stranger's hair. I would be absolutely furious and completely ignore the nothing happened nonsense. And now, cherry on the top, you immediately jumped into dating the said stranger. Own up to cheating on your ex and move on. Your ex is POS for cheating, but you have no high moral ground here. You also cheated. You are just in denial and refuse to admit to it. Comment 2. If nothing indeed happened between you and your friend, and you didn't have any feelings for him, which I doubt because you were pretty quick to use him as a rebound, you are a complete idiot for putting yourself in that situation in the first place, especially if you were still together with your ex. Giving another man a massage, stroking his hair, letting him sleep on your chest. 99% of the population would assume cheating with those major red flags. As for your BF, he's also wrong for being immature and trying to stir a shoot storm with lies and half-truths at best, trying to pin mutual friends against you, and then being mad when you Uno reverse it. Conclusion. Everyone sucks here. Comment 3. You're the idiot. What you did is cheating too, inviting a man to your bed and cuddling with him. He made out with a girl when drunk, shitty, yeah, but you willingly and knowingly pursued a guy while sober and invited him back to your house. What you did is inarguably worse, sorry, no matter how you phrase it. You make a big deal about him getting your trust back and how it was affecting you. Look in the mirror. He didn't paint you as a villain. You became one on your own. And you can deflect with his kissing a girl once when drunk. But nah, you were shitty ass for that if you were making him jump through hoops to gain back your trust for a drunken mistake. Now, for the update. Over the past month, things have taken a turn for the worse. My new boyfriend, the guy who's been my rock through all of this drama with my ex, was involved in a car accident. He's been in the hospital for a couple of weeks now, and the doctors are saying that his recovery will be a long process. I feel beyond devastated, but I am trying to stay strong for him and be there as much as I can. As if that wasn't enough, my ex, the one who has caused so much heartbreak, decided to use this moment of vulnerability to twist the knife further. He sent out a mass text to everyone, making it out as if I was cheating on my hospitalized boyfriend with him. A disgusting lie, of course, but he had conveniently photoshopped some messages to make it look real. As a result, I've been fielding messages from mutual friends, some accusing, some confused. I tried to explain the situation, but it's been emotionally exhausting. In the midst of this, my ex's sister, the one who blamed me initially, reached out to me. Not with accusations, but with an apology. She discovered more about the extent of her brother's manipulative behavior and felt guilty for blaming me. While it was gratifying to receive the apology, it didn't take away the sting of the damage her brother was doing. Strangely enough, my ex's actions have had an unexpected outcome. My relationship with my mom has strengthened. She has been incredibly supportive, helping me navigate through this difficult time. She apologized deeply for the misunderstanding that sparked this chaos and has been visiting my boyfriend in the hospital with me. It's been a silver lining amidst this storm. Meanwhile, I've been considering taking legal action against my ex for the defamation. I've contacted a lawyer who thinks we have a solid case. The process could be long and tough, but I'm ready to stand up for myself and fight back against his manipulative behavior. My emotional state has been a roller coaster. On one hand, I'm dealing with the sadness and fear surrounding my boyfriend's condition, and on the other hand, I'm grappling with the anger and betrayal from my ex. It's been a challenging time, but I'm trying to stay strong and positive. Now, for the comments. Not the idiot. It's clear that you're going through a lot right now, and it's incredibly unfair that your ex is adding to your stress by spreading lies. You're doing the right thing by getting in touch with a lawyer, and it's great to hear that your mom is being supportive. Keep your head up. Not the idiot. No one should have to deal with defamation, especially during such a trying time. It's good to see you're considering taking legal action. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself physically and emotionally amidst all this chaos. Not the idiot. Your ex sounds like he's trying to manipulate the situation to his advantage rather than being genuinely concerned about you or your current boyfriend. It's commendable that you're standing strong in the face of adversity. Also, it's a good thing that you're considering the legal route to prevent further damage. Now, for the next story. My family was at a cousin's birthday party at a play center. I was playing with my little sister and keeping an eye on her while my parents chatted and ordered food for us. Also, adults were not allowed into the play frame, so in no way are my parents to blame for what happened. I was a 13-year-old female, and my younger sister was 3 years old. This kid, about 9, 10 years old, was following us around and kept sneaking up on my tiny little sister, knocking her over. Not just a playful shove, I'm talking full-on knocking her to the ground as hard as he could, shoving her downstairs, etc. I told him to stop. He wouldn't. I talked to my parents and they talked to him, but he still wouldn't stop. While my parents were buying food from the counter, he was chasing my sister and freaking me out that she's going to get a concussion from getting knocked off the top of the slide. I went to find the 17-year-old attendant. She found the kid and talked to his parents. He said, "I didn't hurt her. I was only playing, but I'll stop." His parents went back to talking to friends, but the kid kept bothering us, and the attendant was in another area. I helped my sister climb up a ladder that leads to a platform that is 3 feet high. I started climbing up after her when this kid suddenly jumped out and knocked my 3-year-old sister off a 3-foot-high platform. There was practically no padding where she landed, and she started crying. We were both freaking out. She already had a huge goose egg forming on the back of her head and neck. I totally snapped. I jumped down, made sure she was okay, and comforted her. Then, I picked her up and turned to face the kid who was standing there laughing his head off. I literally put my face within 2 inches of him, and in my best menacing 13-year-old, "You'd better listen, 'cause I'm dead serious," voice said. "If you touch my little sister again, I'm going to punch you right in the face." Then I walked off and refused to acknowledge him again. He stopped following us, and we had a lot of fun at the play center. I would normally never react like that, but I was seriously freaked out that my sister had a major concussion. The bump on her head was about the size of my fist. But I totally meant what I said, and I still don't regret it. I do understand that it's not okay to yell at or threaten a kid, and certainly do not condone or support it in any way. But as I said, I was 13 and freaking out that my 3-year-old sister was about to die from head trauma. I had a wild imagination. TLDR. A kid hurts my 3-year-old sister and won't stop, even after the attendant talks to him and his parents. He does it again, so I threaten to punch him in the face. He stops. Am I the idiot? And what would you have done? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You did every responsible thing you could to get him to stop, telling him, telling your parents to speak to him, and telling an attendant telling his parents to tell him to stop. He lied and said he would stop even. You did not cuss at the boy or actually hit him. The way I see it, giving him a bit of a scare was the only way you could have made him stop at that point. If you were his parents, I would say otherwise, but as a 13-year-old, I think you handled things very, very well. You did a great job protecting your sister as well as nipping this hurtful behavior of his in the bud. Comment 2. I would have 100% just beat the shoot out of him. No threats, just the beating he deserved. I have a younger sister with the same age gap, and the amount of fights I got into as a teenager to protect her is ridiculous, LOL. Comment 3. This is a great way of dealing with stuff like this. You were polite and kind and did everything you could. Finally, you reached your limit, as we all do, and told him in no uncertain terms to stop. Kudos to you. Now for the update. Well, you're not going to believe what's happened since... Against my better judgment, we ended up returning to that play center a few days ago for a friend's party. And guess what? The little terror was there again. The moment he saw us, I could see a wicked grin spread across his face. My heart sank, but I was ready to protect my sister. But this time, things took a different turn. A new guy had started working as an attendant at the play center. He looked around my age and had apparently heard about the previous incident from the older attendant. As the troublemaker approached my sister, the new attendant intervened, keeping a close eye on him. I felt relieved. This guy seemed to understand our predicament, unlike the previous attendant who did little to help. However, that was just the calm before the storm. Unbeknownst to me, the boy had a sinister plan in mind. At one point, he managed to distract the new attendant by spilling a drink on purpose. This gave him an opportunity to sneak up on my sister. He tried to push her off the platform again, but this time I was ready. I reached her just in time to prevent another disaster. I was furious and demanded to see his parents. Little did I know, the kid had been pulling the wool over all our eyes. This brat wasn't there with his parents. He was there with his older brother, who had been pretending all along to be his dad. In a surprising turn of events, the older brother confessed that he was way over his head taking care of his little brother and apologized for his behavior. He promised to control his brother, and they left the play center hastily. After going through this ordeal, I was left baffled. I understand that my response may not have been the best, but I was only trying to protect my sister. Could there have been a better way to deal with this situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, for the comments, not the idiot. You were trying to protect your sister, which is completely understandable. The troublemaker's older brother should have been keeping a better eye on him, not the idiot. The attendant should have been more vigilant and not so easily distracted. It was their job to ensure the safety of all children in the play center. Everyone sucks here. While the troublemaker and his brother were clearly in the wrong, you also escalated the situation by demanding to see their parents. It could have been handled in a more diplomatic way. Now, for the next story. I, 35-year-old male, find myself in a predicament and need some perspective. My ex-wife, 47-year-old female, and I share custody of our son, Archie, 9-year-old male, but I've had full custody with her getting visits twice a month. Recently, I discovered that my ex-wife's husband, John, 40-year-old male, had put Archie into child beauty pageants, something I strongly disagree with due to my view that they exploit innocent kids. What bothers me even more is that my ex-wife knew about this but kept it a secret because she knew I wouldn't support it. I pushed for full custody with supervised visitation, and the court granted it. Now, John is furious, believing what he did was not wrong and that Archie's looks should be used for gain. My ex-wife is understandably sad that she has only supervised visitation now, but I told her she's lucky I didn't push even harder. My ex-in-laws are calling me dramatic and cruel for doing this, but I don't care. I see it as protecting my kid from what I view as online predators, and Archie isn't that close to his mom anyway. Am I the idiot for taking this stance? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I think this was a reasonable response on your part. Anything to do with kids usually has a lot of legal paperwork to sign, and I don't see how your ex, let alone her new husband, could have filled that out honestly, because it doesn't sound like they have any status as your son's legal guardian. So if they were willing to falsify legal documents regarding decisions for your son, as well as conceal this from you, that's very serious. Do you allow your ex-in-laws to see your son? If so, just make sure they're not trashing you to him or doing anything else shady, then drop him off and drive away. Don't engage in unnecessary conversation. If they're not allowed to see him, doesn't matter what they think. Comment 2. Interesting that it's a son in beauty pageants. You don't see much of that. You are not the idiot. John isn't the child's parent. You are, and he should have respected your wishes. Your ex should have also learned to co-parent with you, and she didn't. Now her parenting level has been downgraded. Here's my question. The money Archie supposedly gains by winning beauty pageants, does he get that money? Because it sounds like John was using Archie as a means to make himself some cash on the side. Unless those winnings were put into an account for Archie, your family lawyer should ask your ex and her husband what happened to your son's money. Comment 3. Beauty pageants for kids are disgusting, IMO. You've done the right thing to protect your kiddo. As for others, comment about if the kid won money, where the hell is that money? It should be the child's, and sounds like this John fellow was essentially exploring your child. Also, the fact you have full custody over your ex-wife is a bit telling. Good for you for protecting your child. I have sole custody with a no-contact order till my kiddo is 18. Now for the update, you won't believe the roller coaster these 2 weeks have been. So, out of the blue, I got a call from a private investigator who claimed they were hired by my ex-wife. They were digging into my life, trying to find dirt on me. Apparently, my ex-wife and her husband were so angered by the court's decision that they decided to play dirty. Good thing I've been living quite the rule-abiding life, or else this could have gotten ugly real quick. A week into this, my son, Archie, comes to me with a bewildering confession. He tells me that he actually enjoys participating in the pageants. I was taken aback. My protective instincts had overridden any thoughts of Archie possibly enjoying them, but it seems I was mistaken. I felt conflicted. My perspective on these pageants was tainted, and I didn't want him involved in them. But at the same time, if he truly enjoyed them, who was I to stop him? That's when things took a really unexpected turn. My ex-wife's husband, in a strange twist of events, reached out to me. He apologized for overstepping his boundaries and for keeping it a secret. He said he had only enrolled Archie because he thought Archie enjoyed it, and that he didn't mean for it to result in such conflict. He even proposed a compromise. We let Archie participate, but with stringent rules in place to protect him from potential harm, including from online predators. I was skeptical, but if this could give Archie the best of both worlds, I was willing to consider it. I told him I would think about it, and I involved my lawyer in the discussions to ensure we could cover all possible concerns. The one thing I didn't compromise on, however, was Archie's safety. Any hint of danger and the pageant deal would be off. In the meantime, my ex-in-laws have somewhat softened their stance. I think they realized that the court's decision was not based on spite, but out of genuine concern for Archie. They've even been supportive of the compromise between me and my ex-wife's husband. It's been an intense fortnight, but I've learned a lot about communication, compromise, and most importantly, listening to my son's perspective. It's a tricky situation to navigate, but we'll do it one step at a time. For now, we're taking it slow, making sure Archie is comfortable and safe at all times. After all, that's what this whole ordeal has been about. Now for the comments. 1. Not the idiot. Your first priority as a parent is clearly the safety and well-being of your son, and you're doing everything right by keeping that in mind. It's great that you've acknowledged your son's interest in pageants and are willing to accommodate that, while also ensuring he's protected. The ex and her husband should have definitely consulted you before enrolling your son in activities without your consent, but it's a positive sign that they're willing to apologize and propose a compromise. 2. You're the idiot. While it's understandable that you're being protective over your son, it seems like you're denying him the opportunity to pursue something he enjoys. Yes, safety is important, but so is allowing your child to explore his interests. It's commendable that you're trying to communicate and compromise, but remember that your son has a voice too. Listen to what he wants and find a balance that allows him to be happy and safe. 3. Everyone sucks here. While you're right to be concerned about your son's safety, you also need to trust him and let him explore his interests. The ex and her husband were wrong to enroll him without your consent, but they did apologize and propose a compromise. It seems like everyone needs to work on communication here. It's not only about you and your ex's disagreements, but also about your son's feelings and interests. Try to be more open-minded and supportive. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.